Good morning. Time now is 11:17. Thank you for watching the weather now. A little bit later than we normally bring it to you on any given morning, but thank you for bearing with us. Glad that you are tuned in watching this, maybe on Facebook, Twitter, Amazon Fire, Roku, News app, Weather app, YouTube. There are so many places you can watch these. We do one every morning at 11 a.m., every evening about 9 p.m. or so, and even more often when we have threatening weather. Not the case this morning. What we have going on, Safe Touch Security First Alert Live Radar, again, a couple minutes before 11:20. And we have isolated showers. Not a washout of a day, but a little bit of rain out there. And I'm going to switch over the radar mode and show you where it's raining right now. We're going to zoom down into some of the shower activity we are seeing. And again, not too much in the way of activity, but we do have some isolated showers out there. And again, this is going to be south and southwest of the city of Savannah. I know it looks like it's a little dark on the monitor. Hopefully you're able to see this at home. But just to give you an update, you can see the towns here. Doctortown down to Jessup. We do have a little bit of shower activity kind of right there on the river going towards Little Whiskey into Long County. This is moving to the west-northwest, probably staying north of Georgia 341. That's that roadway right there. And moving towards Georgia 169. It'll cross there a few miles, maybe 5 miles north of Jessup. That's one little shower. Also zooming down a little further to the south, Pierce-Brantley counties. Most areas are dry, but a little shower going to cross Georgia 23 north of Nahunta, headed towards Hoboken, Georgia 121, maybe Blackshear south of Bristol. Pretty light. These are popping up. They're moving west and west-northwest. They're only alive, if you will, for 10, 20, 25 minutes at the max, and then they've been diminishing. That's what we've seen thus far. But I want to take you deeper into the day. This right here is a computer forecast model, and going deeper into the afternoon, we will see the chance of showers and thunderstorms increase ever so slightly. Again, not looking like we're going to see a ton of rain. And again, I apologize. The maps are coming across a little differently compared to how they look here. So if it's a little darker, feel free to ask the questions and I'll clarify stuff for you if you need anything. Hey there, Keith in Hinesville. Thank you for watching. Amy, Sue, waving back at you. Howard says great day on Tybee so far, and I think that will continue. Carmen, hello to you. Hey there, Ruby. Thank you for watching. Christy down in Glenville. Hey, Karen, Liza, or Liza. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Apologize if I didn't. Julianne, what about Eden, Georgia? You have a chance in northern Bryan County of isolated downpours. Nothing on your way now. I think you're good for the next 30 minutes or so, but we do have the chance of rain in the afternoon and the rest of this morning, kind of heading towards the lunch hour. Anita, hello to you. Melissa says, what is it looking like Saturday on Tybee? Looking good. More of an easterly wind, maybe a little bit choppy out there, but overall the forecast at the beach there in the sand especially looking pretty good. Just isolated rain, highs in the upper 80s there on the island. Jan, hopefully you have a great afternoon as well. And speaking of this afternoon, I'm going to walk you through. Now, the map that you're seeing on your feed may be a little bit darker than what actually is showing up here. So just holler if you need a clarification to where communities are, where things are here, and I will answer those. That's what I'm doing right now, holding my phone on Facebook. So deeper into the afternoon, notice how we get this onshore flow. It's already there, but we'll see an increase in showers develop just offshore, maybe just inland from the beaches as well. Moving west and west-northwest, generally inland, marching towards I-20 and I-75. Alex, what is Hinesville looking like today, boss man? I don't know about boss man, but thank you for watching, and I appreciate the viewership, Alex. So here we are, Hinesville, Fort Stewart. You're going to have rain, in the radius within your area by noon, 1, 2 o'clock, early afternoon. Melissa says, too cool for school, getting married there at Tybee on Saturday, so looking pretty good. Tiffany asking about Richmond Hill. So if you have a question about your community, what the weather's going to be like today, we will have the map behind me, and it is behind me right now, and we're just going to go hour by hour and walk you through what the day may hold. So between now and noon, 1 o'clock maybe, those clouds growing a little bit taller, and it looks like we got the color fix. Thank you to those back in the studio. Everything looks pretty good right now. So moving off to the north and west, and later in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, I think the focus shifts away from the beaches. It's still not a washout in Statesboro, not in Baxley, not in Douglas, not in Swainsboro, not in Hampton County, Furman, Hampton, Estill, but This is the area that has the greatest chance of seeing a downpour by 3, 4, 5. You know, those late afternoon, those early evening hours. Meanwhile, I-95, the beaches, maybe a little rogue downpour, a little sprinkly shower, or a quick little heavy shower moves in from the ocean during that time. But the focus is inland. So the commute, at least within the metro, looking, thanks Dave. Dave is just a master of everything. He fixing the color for us. This evening, by commute time, to kind of simplify all the jargon I was just giving you, it looks a little bit drier with the activity kind of shifting inland. Yvette, what is the chance of Hardyville getting rain? 30 to 40%. Chris, Dublin, about a 40 to 50% chance you get rain in Dublin this afternoon. Yes, Stephen, chroma key did need to be adjusted. I think I needed to be rekeyed because we were filming on the wall, not filming, but recording on the wall earlier. So that probably is exactly right. And that's kind of a little behind-the-scenes magic for you. I was recording something for our Irma special coming up the 10th, I believe, Monday. So you can watch it there. Just kind of a teaser there. We're putting a bunch of stuff together. I was working on that over on the green wall before we came over here to do your digital forecast updates. So that is exactly what occurred most likely. And going deeper into the evening, we're pretty quiet tonight. I think tomorrow morning, maybe a little bit of shower activity offshore the beaches, rolling inland. We've seen that every morning this week, and that'll continue to be the case. I'm going to walk you through the extended 7-day here in a moment. Of course, Dave will have it up on the news at noon, but I do want to talk about the tropics right now. First, Gordon made landfall, excuse me, never quite achieved hurricane status. It's a tropical storm. Actually, update, this is new with the 11 o'clock advisory. Now tropical depression, as I adjust this title. Tropical Depression Gordon did cause some damage, and unfortunately is at least one fatality in the western Florida Panhandle near Pensacola, as a tree fell on a mobile home, and unfortunately, really sad stuff here, killed a child, I believe, around 2 years old. We did have flooding reports. We did have some wood damage reports, some water level rises, storm surge along the Mississippi, Alabama, Gulf Coast especially. That's a bit of history. Improving conditions rapidly there. Still some wraparound rain bands and moisture, though. Now forecast to slow down a little bit, move through Arkansas, and dump quite a bit of rainfall, but as a weakening tropical system. Now we have major Hurricane Florence. Sustained winds 125 miles per hour, pressure 28.26. And dropping. It's been dropping pretty rapidly, pretty much. By definition, this qualifies as rapid intensification. Remember, yesterday evening, early in the evening, it was still a tropical storm, then upgraded to a hurricane, and then upgraded to a major hurricane with your 8 a.m. update, and now 5 miles per hour stronger winds noted now versus the 8 o'clock advisory. This is as of 11 a.m. And it is moving off to the northwest and west-northwest. Let's see if we have new. Again, I'm kind of editing this, getting information in as I pass it along to you, so just bear with me if you don't mind for just a moment. We're going to see exactly how fast it's moving. Okay, northwest at 13, so no changes there. And it'll continue that general north and west motion here for the next several days. Monday at 9 a.m. Remember, today's Wednesday. Monday morning, it's still well south and east of Bermuda, and forecast to undergo some weakening here before re-strengthening in the west central Atlantic. There's a lot of uncertainty here, folks. Just gonna play it simple here. We don't know exactly how the steering currents, the winds up above our heads, are going to steer this next week. There's a high pressure ridge that's going to build over the north central United States, northeast United States. There's another extension of that near the Azores in northeastern Atlantic. So high, and in between there's a little bit of a weakness, kind of like when you throw water down on the ground and it tends to go in the areas that have the lowest elevation as the water slopes down, or how water runs next to the curb and goes into the gutter, kind of a weakness like that. And they like to find these and kind of travel into the weakness. Think about, again, water spreading out on the ground. But if that weakness is not strong enough, not notable enough for Florence to catch it and take it as an exit into the ocean and away from the U.S., this has the potential to impact the east coast of the United States, not within the next even 7 days, but by the middle and latter portion of next week. So late next week, we'll really be watching it closely. But even then, Sunday into Monday, we're going to have an idea whether it's going to take that away and out to sea, or if we stand a greater chance here in the United States of being impacted on the East Coast by this hurricane, likely then a major hurricane. So really, really important time here. I know we probably have more questions coming in now, and people may have questions about today's weather. Thank you, Claire, for watching. And I do have some questions about cooler weather. So I will get to those weather questions back to today's forecast in just a moment. But first, I want to draw your attention to this. Let's just simplify it because we have a lot going on in the tropics right now. This is the big player in the East Coast game, the East Coast forecast. You need to watch this. Florence. All we need you to do right now is just get an update every day. Whether it be on the phone, from a reliable source on TV, from a reliable source online, from a reliable source, just make sure you get an updated forecast because it's going to be super complicated, crunching a lot of data, the computer models, that is, through the weekend. And by Sunday to Monday, we're going to know, or at least have a much better idea, whether it's going to turn and head out to sea, take that exit out into the ocean, or if it's going to be shoved a little bit further to the west. It is something that deserves our attention, at least casually so, and we're going to be watching it for you and passing along updates. So that is what we are watching Sunday into Monday. After that time period, again, worst case, if there were any impacts to the United States, it would not be until the latter portion of next week. Not this week, next week. So many, many, many days out into the future. Brian, I see you're calling my name. You know, unfortunately, the way these comments come in, it only shows like 4 or 5 at a time. They tend to be old comments by the time they reach my phone. Internet is wonderful, but it's not perfect. And I will go back through. Maybe I'm missing some questions here, so I apologize if I am missing something. I'll go back through and let you know. Tammy, I hope it goes out to sea too. I'm just at this point saying we can't say for sure, but it deserves our attention. Certainly we in the Forecast Center, the Weather Center, keeping an eye on it, and we just encourage you to do the same. Also, Invest 92L still out here in the far eastern Atlantic, not a tropical system, but they're investigating it for possible tropical development. That means they're running computer forecasts on it. They're looking at it on satellite. There's a team of forecasters basically looking at this specifically to become our next tropical system. If it does, it'll likely get the name Helene. And there's actually another tropical wave about to emerge off the coast of Africa now that'll be emerging in the Atlantic here within the next 24, 36 hours. And that could become a tropical system. Its name would be Isaac. Caroline, if there's a chance for the U.S. if there is a chance for this hurricane to affect the U.S., would it be more of the northern states? We simply don't know. Anyone on the East Coast from Florida up to New England needs to keep an eye on it. We can't even resolve that at this time. But we can say we can't say we're out of the woods. We are simply too early in the game. There is a risk. It's low at the present time, but it's enough to where I'm saying, hey, caution, just get an update on the forecast. That's all you need to do right now, is just make sure you're staying updated so you don't get caught off guard if anything does change. Folks asking about the extended forecast. Daryl, will surf be up? It depends on the track. Surf's already been a little bit up. It was choppy over the weekend with that onshore flow. Wind's not really that gusty, but it has been pretty strong in a persistent sense onshore for the past several days, building up those waves, building up those waves, building up those waves. So it's been a little choppy out there at Tybee. If this passes between Bermuda and the United States, even that far out to sea, we could still definitely see some pretty big swells. Brenda, Friday AM or PM showers. Let's see, Brenda, morning at the coast, isolated. Friday afternoon, inland, scattered. So it's just going to be more of what we've seen. Exactly what we've seen for the past few days, that's your Friday. So it appears that I've covered the tropics to enough to where people aren't worried about it. It looks like we have the questions answered. Hopefully that's the case. Again, I promise, scroll back through the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. But I do want to talk about the extended forecast, and I'm loading up my weather graphics right now. I'm going to talk about rain chances specifically with that extended outlook, because a lot of folks wanting to know if they can get their plans in, if there will be, to what extent there will be weather impacts. So I'm loading that up now. I'm having to look through hundreds and hundreds of weather graphics here on the computer if you're wondering what I'm doing. And I'm going to go load it up right now. I'm pulling up my full weather. This is the same computer I use to show you the forecast on TV, so I have to look through all those graphics. I'm just going to go with the 7-day, actually. Oh, nope, here we go. So we're talking about rain chances. No single day this week is going to be a washout. But I do think a little more moisture Thursday into Friday, caution. Isolated today, Friday, well, late Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the weekend back to more isolated stuff, and then maybe a little more moisture Monday, Tuesday, but just slight variations in the overall forecast. Again, there's going to be no big day-to-day changes. Pretty much every day is going to be more of the same. Little more rain Thursday into Friday, maybe scattered still, not as isolated. Remember, isolated the least, then scattered, then widespread. and then more isolated, little less rain Saturday, Sunday, but a few downpours around. It's still summertime. And Monday, Tuesday, more moisture, so more scattered activity in the forecast. You're very welcome, Tammy. Thank you for watching. Julianne, you have a great day yourself. Kathy, you're very welcome. She says she's a heat hater. I like the heat, but I too am ready for fall. I'm ready for the seasonal change. I typically don't like change, but when it comes to weather and seasons, I do like a little bit of the seasonal change and variety, and eventually it'll happen. We got to get through summer, we got to get through hurricane season, and then it's nice, calm, relaxing, chilly weather time of year. So, on that note, Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley is in the Weather Center. As we always say, try to wrap it up, reminding you the news at noon, a complete look at where it's raining at noon, where it's going, and your extended forecast all coming up, the news at noon. You can watch it on TV, WTOC.com, by clicking Watch Live in the upper right-hand corner of the website, or if you're watching from a device. And on that note, you can also watch in the WTOC News and Weather app. So a few downpours around today. It'll be warm. It'll be sticky. Dave has the details coming up on all those platforms here on the news at noon. Have a good afternoon.